The Emperor hands Alon a weapon and advances forward himself. He tells her not to push herself. Alon is surprised to find that the Emperor is going to fight himself. An enemy advances towards him, declaring that the Emperor is the enemy of his kingdom. Both strike their swords. The Emperor refuses to recall doing anything to his kingdom. He further says to come at him if he wants to kill him. Both of them dash outside while fighting. Alon tells the children to hide under the bed as it is dangerous. She tells them to wait until she comes back and rushes outside. She finds the Emperor fighting two men. A man is about to stab him when Alon repels the attack and stands back to back with the Emperor. She notices the blood on his back and realizes that the Emperor is fighting despite his poor condition. She tells the Emperor that it is dangerous and continues to fight. The Emperor thinks she is even more beautiful when she wields the sword. They both keep fighting until morning when the reinforcements arrive. She's asking about his condition when the Emperor falls down. With his head in her lap, she calls out to him. The Emperor tells her not to worry. Alon says he does not look okay at all. She plans to call a physician when Leonhard arrives. He shows her a dark expression after looking at the situation and clenches his fist around the sword. He apologizes for being late and asks about their situation. Alon tells him that she's fine, but the Emperor moved around too much and his wounds reopen. Leonhard suggests moving the Emperor to another location and Alon agrees. The Emperor grabs her hand and calls out to her while smiling. Alon wonders why she does not want the Emperor to die like this. The Emperor wakes up and finds himself on the bed. Alon is holding his hand and sleeping with her head on the bed. The Emperor remembers the pain he felt while looking for her for the last few years. He thinks that if these wounds can keep her shackled to him, he will even risk his life for that purpose. Leonhard tells his subordinate that he will survey the area. He dashes thinking about Alon and how she cared for the Emperor and then slams his hand on the tree. He thought that Alon hated the Emperor, but there was a chance that she forgave him. He wanted to kill the Emperor. He laughed out loud, saying that she was acting more like Arisa by the day. He then thinks that Alon might be returning the favor by saving her, as she does not like to be indebted to anyone. He says that he needs to act more quickly if he's going to obtain what he wants. Alver is angry about the failure of his plan. He blocked all paths to keep the messengers from going out, but the Emperor still called for backup. He suspects that the information was leaked and believes that the sponsors assisting him may be responsible. He concludes that the sponsor might have changed his plans because he was afraid that Alon might die. He cannot lose hope and give up now. Alon wakes up and finds herself lying next to the Emperor while holding his hand. The king of the nation comes to see the Emperor, so Alon wakes him up. The king apologizes for coming late and offers to escort the Emperor to the Empire. The Emperor glares at him and refuses his offer. A shadow assassin tells Alon about their plan to continue the journey, and she asks about the Emperor's condition. The Emperor ordered the shadow to not tell her about his recovery, so the shadow tells her that the Emperor wanted to get her and the children out of danger. Alon is worried about the Emperor. She tells the children that they are going to the Empire. The children are excited and hug her. She tells them that she's going somewhere and will be back soon. She goes to meet the Emperor and meets Leonhard outside his tent. Leonhard averts his gaze. She thinks that he is unwell. She enters the tent and watches the Emperor changing his bandages. She asks about the physician, but the Emperor says that he's capable of doing this on his own, so he sends the physician back. She notices that the ointment has not been applied to the wounds because his hand cannot reach his back and offers to help. She applies the ointment and notices the Emperor trembling. She always thought that he could not feel pain. She tells him to lift his arms and she bandages his wounds. She asks if he's really going back to the Empire in this condition. The Emperor affirms and says that she's hoping that his condition will get worse, causing him to die. However, he finally reunited with her, so he will not die now. She is shocked to hear that she was worried about him since he got hurt. She shows a painful expression and tells him that he has not changed. The Emperor looks at her and says that he is how he is. In the carriage, Alon sits with her children. She avoids the Imperial Knight because she does not want to be recognized. The children are excited to see the knights and ask if their mother is a princess. She tells them that she is not the princess, but she once was a knight who protected her master. When the children ask about her master, she tells them that it is a secret. The children ask if the black-haired man is a demon king. She tells them he is not and asks if he bothered them. The children say that he told them that he was their father. Alon goes pale, but the children are understanding and tells her to say it later if she is uncomfortable. Her heart softens to find that her children are being considerate of her. They arrive at the palace, but Alon is worried about getting out of the carriage. And there's many people outside. Two shadow assassins arrive and give her a hood to wear. Alon does not understand if the Emperor is being considerate of her or what he's thinking. They take Alon and the kids to a beautiful room. The children see the huge bed and start jumping on it excitedly. Alon tells them to not make too much noise when someone knocks at the door. She goes to check to find Leonhard standing in front of the door. He says he wants to tell her something. She tells him to not call her by the title as she's no longer a knight. Leonhard tells her to also just call him Leonhard or just Leon. Alon wonders if they are so close to start calling each other so casually. He asks if she still remembers what he said to her. Alon remembers him asking if he could be the father of the child. She says she does remember, but that it's not possible now, and that was a long time ago. He tells her that his feelings have not changed. He wants to be someone who can be relied on. He asks why she's trying to go where he cannot reach her, having tears in his eyes. He moves to grab her hand when someone calls him from behind. He hopes to listen to a different answer the next time he asks and leaves. Alon gets conflicted and sits down. Alon returns to the room and finds that the children are asleep because they are tired from the journey. She also plans to go to sleep but remembers what Leonhard said about her going out of reach. She wonders about it for some time, then goes to sleep. The Emperor wakes her up and she's surprised to find him in her room. She soon realizes that it is a dream. She tells him not to invade her dreams. He asks her what she and Leonhard were talking about. She tells him that he was worried about her as a colleague, but the Emperor already knows that they're on a first-name basis, and suggests she only remain a colleague. The next day, Alana is tired because she could not sleep. They arrive at Aledo, the capital of the Empire, and the Emperor offers her his hand, but she refuses. He tells her that she's going to be living in the Wind Palace. Alana's confused because only the Empress is supposed to live in the Wind Palace. The Emperor says that she's going to be an Empress soon, and this makes Alana beyond shocked. The Emperor shows her around the palace. He takes them to the children's room and a room for Alana. Alana gets a feeling that someone was using this room. The Emperor introduces the head maid of Wind Palace, Malaka, and leaves. Alana wants to ask her about it, but she stops herself. Enril finds Kyle written on a book in his room and shows it to Leanne. They think that this is the name of the person who used to live in this room and find more stuff with the name on it. Alana arrives and the children show her as well. She remembers the time when the Emperor said he used to read books. At that time, she thought that he was lying to gain sympathy. She thinks that even if the Emperor had a tough childhood, that does not excuse all of the cruel things that he has done. The more one gets to know a person, the more he sympathizes with them. That is why she did not want to know more about the Emperor. The children ask if they know this person, but she refuses and tells them to clean up. Malaka enters the room and invites them for dinner. On the way, Leah notices a cloth portrait and asks about it. Malaka tells them that it is the portrait of the previous resident of the palace. Leanne wants to look at it, so Malaka removes the cloth. She tells them that the woman in the portrait is the previous mistress of the Wind Palace, Eugene, and her son, Kylar. The children become excited to know that the boy is Kyle. Alon tells them to keep it a secret because they read the book without Kyle's permission and he would not be happy about it. Malaka tells them not to worry as he would not be angry to use his things because the children are adorable. Alon also thinks so, but she wants to keep the children away from the Emperor. Arisa sits in her room. She belongs to the Crescent family who helped the Emperor rise to the throne after he was abandoned as a prince. She wants all the love and power. A servant tells her that food was delivered to the Wind Palace. She tells them to investigate as no one is allowed to go to that palace. Rumors started about the new resident in the Wind Palace. Alon realizes and gets worried because the nobles will try to harm her and the children. She wants to get out of here but cannot get away from Malaka. The children are playing in the garden when Leanne finds a black pony. She pets the pony, but Enril is worried that it might belong to someone and tells her not to touch it. The Emperor arrives and asks if they like it. Leanne praises the pony for its beauty. The Emperor shows them a white pony and tells them that they can ride these as they are the owners now. The children ask Alon if they can ride them. Alon realizes that these are Persian ponies that are very expensive. She wants to refuse the gift, but the children love ponies so much that she cannot do so. The Emperor asks Alon if she would like to come with the children to ride ponies. She tells them that it's hard to take care of 2 children, so she goes. The Emperor smiles after hearing that. Alana is reminded of the portrait when she thinks that the Emperor has been smiling a lot after arriving here. The Emperor helps Leanne to sit on the pony and she thanks him. She also apologizes for calling him the Demon King before. The Emperor is happy to hear that. Alana also thanks him for saving the children. The Emperor turns his face after hearing that. Alana is curious to know why he hid his face. The children ask the Emperor how they should address him because their mother calls him Your Majesty. He tells them to call him Kylar. The children ask if he is Kyle. The Emperor affirms him as Kyle. The children become excited and ask if he likes storybooks because there are a lot of books in the room. He tells him that he likes books with dragons in them. They start asking him other questions as well, but Alon tells them not to ask many questions at once. She notices the Emperor smiling and happy. The Emperor tells them to continue the conversation in the shade as the sun is getting hot. The children follow the Emperor. Alon thinks that he looks more like a father as she watches them leave. She soon comes to track and thinks that this should not be a touching sense. The Emperor is only being nice to the children to make her lower her guard. The Emperor notices her not moving and asks if she's coming with, calling her a rabbit. She is shocked that he would call her a rabbit in front of the children. He tells her that she looks like the pet rabbit he had when he was young. Alon is put after hearing that and asks if he likes her because she looks like his pet. The Emperor tells her that he was attracted to her from the start when she was cursing your superior behind his back. Alon tells him to stop, but Lian says she wants to hear more. The Emperor asks if she's attracted to him after hearing that. Alon says that he lied to her and locked her up in the palace, so how can she feel attraction for him? The Emperor tells her that she's not locked, she can go whenever she wants as long as she does not take the children with her. He knows that she will not run away without her children. Alon goes out of the Wind Palace and meets Leonhardt coincidentally. He tells her not to let her guard down around the Emperor as he's being nice for now. Arisa gets informed about Alon living in the Wind Palace with her 2 children. She gets angry and decides to go to the Imperial Castle. Thank you so much for watching. Please check out these other videos and make sure to subscribe and press that bell icon to know about our latest videos.